This movie is inspired by the real-life events of Louis Zamperini. Before World War II started, Louis was a famous Olympic runner for America. After the war started, he joined his country's army. During this war, he was captured by Japanese soldiers. Today, in this movie, we will see what happened to him after being captured, and how he returned to his country from there. So, the movie starts from Louis's childhood, where it is seen that, in his childhood, Louis was very mischievous. He used to fight with his friends, smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, and even steal. For all these actions, his father used to beat him severely. But even then, he wouldn't mend his ways. Louis's family included his parents, him, and his brother. His brother was an athlete, and he trusted his brother immensely. One day, because of some mischief done by Louis, a man chased him, and Louis ran away fast through a field. At that time, his brother was practicing beside that field, and seeing his brother running away so fast from there, he became very happy. After this incident, his brother started making him practice running every day. Louis would run fast from the front, and his brother would follow him on a bicycle from behind. Louis had no confidence in himself. He would repeatedly tell his brother, "I won't be able to do anything. I can't do any of this." But his brother had great faith in him and always encouraged him a lot about this. Now, it is seen that, through practicing, Louis has grown up a lot. He has won many running competitions in his life. In one of these competitions, he sets a record. He covered 1 mile in 4 minutes and 31 seconds. Before this, no high school kid had covered 1 mile in such a short time. Now, because of his excellent running skills, he is sent to the Olympics from America. When Louis was leaving for the Olympics to represent his country, his brother came to see him off. There, Louis tells his brother, "If I can't do anything in this Olympics, I'll show everyone in the next Olympics." Louis participates in the 5,000 meters at the 1936 Olympics. It's true, Louis didn't win this race, but here he sets a record. From the start of the race, he was quite behind initially, but when he reached the last lap of the race, he ran very fast and finished that lap in a very short time. To this day, no one has finished the last lap of an Olympic race in such a short time. Louis really wanted to participate in the next Olympics, which was supposed to be held in Tokyo, Japan in 1940, and win a medal for his country. But before this dream could be fulfilled, World War II started, causing the 1940 Olympics to be postponed. Now, Louis has joined his country's army. Louis joined the American Air Force as a bombardier, and their job was to go to enemy territory by plane and drop bombs there. At this time, war was ongoing between Japan and America. During the war, several of Louis's companions were seriously injured, and their plane was also significantly damaged. Their plane's condition was so bad that one tire burst while landing, but the pilot managed to control the plane somehow. Several days after this incident, Louis and his companions are being sent on a new mission. But now, they don't have to go to battle. Several of their companions are stranded in the ocean, and their job is to find them by plane. Louis and his companions set out on their mission with a plane, but the condition of the plane they took was very bad. Because of this, mechanical problems appeared in their plane shortly after starting the mission, and soon after, that plane crashed into the ocean. After this accident, everyone on that plane except Louis and his 2 companions dies. Before the plane sank completely into the ocean, these 3 managed to get a total of 2 water boats, life rafts, out of the plane. These 3 start adjusting to stay in these 2 boats. In that boat, there was a little drinking water and some dry food. Since each of them had very little food and there was no certainty when help would arrive, Louis decided they would eat 1 piece of food in the morning and 1 at night, and drink a little water so that, with minimal food, they could survive for many days. These 3 are stranded in the middle of the ocean. There is nothing but water all around them. In this situation, getting any kind of help was practically impossible. But the next morning, they notice a plane flying over their boat. They try hard to attract the plane's attention, but it doesn't work. The plane doesn't see them at all. Louis then notices that one of their companions had eaten all the dry food they had the previous night alone, and now they have no food or water left. Seeing this, Louis gets very angry at his friend, and a small argument breaks out between them. Many days pass like this. They are still stranded in the ocean. They have no food or water. Most importantly, none of the 3 know if help will ever come. After so many days without food, the condition of each of their bodies had deteriorated badly. One day, they suddenly notice a seabird landing on their boat, and with great difficulty, they catch the bird and start cutting it up and eating it. But none of them could digest the raw bird meat, causing each of them to vomit. Then the 3 of them decide they will catch fish. Their boat had all the necessary fishing equipment. After trying all day, they manage to catch 1 fish. This way, for the first time in many days, they get to eat some proper food. Catching fish like this solves their food problem, but their water problem remains, as seawater is completely unsuitable for drinking. Their days pass like this. They would lie on the boat all day, and when hungry, they would catch and eat fish. After several days like this, a huge storm suddenly hits the ocean, and in this storm, their 2 small boats are badly damaged. For a moment, Lewis thought they might all die there. Then Lewis prayed to God, "Oh God, if you save me now, I will dedicate the rest of my life to you." Soon after, the storm subsides and all three survive. After the storm stops, it starts raining, and they begin drinking the rainwater because it is their only source of drinking water. This way, for the first time in many days, they get a chance to drink some water. After many more weeks pass like this, they notice another plane flying over their boat. This time, they try to attract its attention by firing a flare gun. This time, the plane sees them, but unfortunately, it was a plane from their enemy country, Japan. The plane starts firing at them from a distance, forcing all three to jump out of the boat into the ocean. After firing several times, the plane leaves. Although they survive this incident, one of their boats is completely destroyed. Now, all three have to adjust to stay in one boat. A few days after this event, one of their companions dies in the boat, unable to bear the suffering. Now, only Lewis and one friend remain alive in that boat. The condition of both of them has also become very bad. They cannot eat properly or get enough water. Because of this, they had no strength to even sit up or speak. Both lay quietly in the boat. Several days later, a Japanese ship finds them in the ocean and arrests both of them. They are taken to a camp in the jungle. But even in that camp, they were severely abused. They were locked in a dark room and given no food. After being held captive there for several days, Lewis is sent to another camp in Tokyo, Japan. Upon arriving at that camp, Lewis sees many other soldiers like him held captive. The head in charge of that camp was named Watanabe. Watanabe was extremely violent and cruel. Upon arriving at the camp, Watanabe tells Lewis and his companions, "You are enemies of Japan, and you will be treated as enemies deserve." While Watanabe was saying this, Lewis looked at him once, and Watanabe notices. He comes up to Lewis and says, "Look me in the eyes." And when Lewis does, Watanabe hits him hard on the head with a stick he was holding. Then he tells Lewis again, "Look me in the eyes." And when Lewis tries to look, he hits him hard again with the stick. After beating Lewis several times like this, he tells Lewis, "Never look me in the eyes again." Then they are shown their sleeping place, which was very small and dirty. The next morning, everyone is called to the field. Watanabe announces there, "Among you, there is a cook who is from Australia, and there is an Olympic athlete. Who is that Olympic athlete?" Then Lewis raises his hand. Watanabe makes Lewis race against a soldier from the camp. Due to being physically weak from not eating properly for so long, Lewis loses the race. Lewis had become so weak that after finishing the race, he couldn't even stand. He collapsed on the ground right there. After Lewis loses the race, Watanabe starts beating him brutally with his stick. Sometimes it seemed Watanabe had some personal grudge against Lewis. He would beat Lewis at every opportunity, with or without reason. One day, some people from a Japanese radio company come to their camp to meet Lewis. They tell Lewis, "The American government has informed your family that you are dead, but we want to give you an opportunity. You can tell your family via radio that you are alive and well." Lewis then goes to the radio station and informs his family that he is alive and well. After the radio program ends, they show Lewis a paper and say, "If you say what is written on this paper on the radio, we won't send you back to the camp. We will arrange good accommodation for you here." But Lewis states that what is written on the paper is completely false, and he cannot tell lies and falsehoods about his country. Therefore, Lewis is sent back to the camp. As soon as Lewis enters the camp, Watanabe ties his hands behind his back. Then he orders all the prisoners to punch Lewis hard in the face once. But no prisoner agrees to hit Lewis. Then Watanabe starts beating one of Lewis's friends. He tells everyone, "If you don't hit him, I will keep beating this one." Seeing this, Lewis looks at everyone and shouts loudly, "Hit me!" Then all the prisoners start punching Lewis in the face one by one. After being beaten by everyone, Lewis's condition becomes very bad, and he faints right there. A few days after this incident, all the prisoners in the jail, especially Lewis, receive very happy news. The in charge of the jail, Watanabe, has been promoted. Therefore, he is being transferred to another camp. Several days after Watanabe leaves, several bombs fall near their camp, causing a fire. Therefore, everyone is moved to a new, different camp. After arriving at the new camp, while everyone is standing in line, Lewis notices that the new camp in charge is Watanabe. After being transferred from their previous camp, Watanabe has become the in charge of this camp. Seeing this, Lewis's condition worsens immediately, and his hands and legs start trembling. Watanabe comes up to Lewis and says, "Why aren't you looking me in the eyes?" But Lewis doesn't look into his eyes. Even then, he hits Lewis hard on the head with a stick. Now every prisoner is put to work here. The work here was very hard. Each prisoner had to carry coal on their back and load it onto ships. One day, while Lewis was coming down from a ship, a Japanese soldier pushed him from above, causing him to fall down, severely injuring his leg. The work in this camp was so hard that everyone's condition became very bad. One day, after working for a long time, Lewis was in great pain, so he stood still for a while in one place. A Japanese soldier saw this and dragged Lewis in front of Watanabe. In front of Watanabe, several large wooden logs were kept. He tells Lewis to lift one of these logs with his hands. Lewis's condition was already very bad here. He couldn't even stand properly. But even then, with great difficulty, Lewis lifts the wooden log. Then Watanabe tells Lewis to lift the wooden log above his head. Again, with great difficulty, Lewis lifts the wooden log above his head. Then Watanabe tells one of his soldiers, "If he lowers this log from his head, you shoot him immediately." But shortly after lifting the log, it started slowly lowering from Lewis's head. The entire place fell completely silent. All the prisoners and Japanese soldiers stopped working and stared intently at Lewis. Lewis was breathing heavily, and the wooden log was slowly lowering from his head. But then, Lewis started looking Watanabe directly in the eyes, and then, using all his strength, he lifted the wooden log high above his head again. Suddenly, some immense strength seemed to surge within him. Watanabe repeatedly shouts at Lewis, "Don't look me in the eyes! Don't look me in the eyes!" But Lewis doesn't listen to him. He keeps staring straight into his eyes. Watanabe then runs over and starts beating Lewis. He beats Lewis so brutally that after finishing, Watanabe himself is panting. After taking such a severe beating, Lewis faints and lies unconscious on the camp field all night. One day, all the Japanese soldiers in the camp gather all the prisoners in one place and inform them that the war is now nearing its end. So they invite all of them to bathe in Japan's Hokura River. While the soldiers are going to bathe, for a moment, they think the Japanese soldiers might shoot them all dead in this river. But upon reaching the river, they see a plane from their own country flying overhead, making them realize that America has won the war. Therefore, everyone becomes very happy, and a festive atmosphere arises in the river. While everyone outside is celebrating this, Lewis goes to the quarters of their in-charge Watanabe. But upon arriving, it is seen that Watanabe has already left the camp, and in the room, his stick, the one he used to repeatedly beat Lewis, is lying there. Lewis then returns to his own country. After enduring so much suffering for so long, he sets foot on his homeland for the first time. Therefore, upon landing, he first kisses the soil of his country. Then he meets his family. Lewis gets married in 1947, and after marriage, he has a son and a daughter. Remember when the storm came in the ocean and Lewis prayed to God that if he survived this ordeal, he would dedicate his entire life to God. He does exactly that. He dedicates the rest of his life to God. After everything that happened in his life, Lewis realizes that, for everyone's well-being in this world, peace is much more necessary than war. Lewis then goes to Japan and finds all the soldiers who had held him captive. He talks to each of them and forgives them all. But the in-charge Watanabe, who had beaten Lewis the most and worst, does not want to meet Lewis. Lewis had a strong desire to run in the 1940 Olympics in Japan, but because of World War II, those Olympics were not held. Lewis fulfills that dream at the age of 80. He then runs with the Olympic torch in the Japanese Olympics and fulfills his dream. This is where the story of this movie ends. If you liked the video, you can subscribe to the channel.